Today we're going to be doing a full comparison between these two fans. Over here we have the Dreo Polyfan 508S. They did send this one out to me for this comparison, and then we have the Lasko Pedestal fan. These fans may look very different, but they are kind of in the same category, but we're going to go over some of the extra features that the Drio has on the mobile app that the Lasko does not have. But the cool part is they both come with remotes, and I did go ahead and lower them both down just so I could get them in frame for this video. Normally these fans are much taller. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a closer look at the Drio fan first. Then we're gonna do the Lasko, and then at the very end, we're gonna be doing a cooling test. So we're gonna put these in a really hot room and see just how fast these fans can cool down the room. All right, so let's go ahead and turn the Drio fan on so I could show you its probably coolest feature. It actually oscillates in two different directions. So it goes like up and down, and also side to side. It does have a screen down here, so it shows you that we have both oscillating modes going. It shows that it's connected to our mobile app on Wi-Fi, and we even have a button here for the RGBs, which is pretty cool. And if we press this RGB button right here, it actually changes the colors of the back of the fan. And the light reflects off of this really cool like wood texture. And as you guys could probably hear on the first setting, it's actually super quiet, basically silent while still giving you some air. But let me go ahead and show you. We have a total of like 10 modes. So now we're on high, and this thing is really powerful on the max mode. Of the two fans, I would definitely say this fan's more powerful despite it being a little smaller. And if you guys want to pause it from oscillating and just keep it in that position, just press these buttons right here and it'll just stop rotating. It's super customizable. Right now it's only going to go side to side while facing straight up. So we'll press this again, and now it should start moving just like normal. Of course, we do get some timers built in, so let's see how many hours it goes up to. Looks like 8 hours for our timer. And when you're done with the remote, you could just set it right there in that remote caddy. And if you guys want to make it its full height, you'll just rotate this and just pull it up. So it just goes up like another 6 inches or so. But honestly, I kind of like it being the short, just stays more out of the way. So like I was saying, it does come with a mobile app. So I just wanted to show you that it has almost all the same settings on that remote and some. You guys could actually set up a full schedule right there and have it run at certain speeds at certain times. It actually shows us the temperature of the room here. And there's some settings on here in auto mode where it will fluctuate the speed dependent on the temperature of the room. We even have a setting here for natural wind. So the fan will kind of pick up speed, lower, and be more like a gust of wind versus constant. Then you guys have full customization of the RGBs here. So as you can see, it just went from like yellow to red to green. It's pretty cool. And normally this does make a beeping sound when you press a button, but we went ahead and turned that off. We have a child lock, oscillation calibration, which I personally have not had to do yet, just seems to be working fine on its own, and a temperature calibration tool. And of course you can connect this to whatever smart device you guys use, so you guys could take advantage of a lot of those features through your smart device, which is going to be super convenient. Now let's go ahead and move over to the Lasko fan. All right, so here's your closer look at the Lasko fan. So we have a much larger fan blade up there, and back here we have the button for the oscillating, just like the normal fans, and you guys could actually tilt this up or down, and it's pretty simple to use that. Down here we do have a screen, so we have a total of 3 modes. Right now it's on the lowest, medium, and high, and it gets pretty loud at high, and it actually has a good amount of wind going through there. We're gonna go back down to 1 just so that you guys could hear me. Then we do have timers going up to 4 hours. So not quite as many adjustments as the Drio. And then of course our normal power button right there. Like I was saying, I did lower this fan. So this fan could go a lot higher, and that's one advantage. So it can be a bit taller than the Drio fan if that's what you guys need. It also has a really large base, which I like. And then of course it does come with a controller so that you guys could access all the settings right here. It definitely isn't quite as customizable, but overall, if you guys are just looking for a simple fan, this one's still pretty cool. And on this one, I didn't see a specific storage spot to actually put the remote. Sometimes there will be like a little remote caddy, but this one you just need to make sure you don't lose, or maybe just Velcro it to the side here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and cut to the actual test of this video. So for our test, we got the room up to about 79 degrees when we opened up the window, because we're in Texas where it's super hot. So basically what we're gonna do here is we're gonna shut the window and we're going to open that door and turn on the fan, and that's gonna help ventilate the room and hopefully get rid of that hot air. And of course, this has a timer on it, so we're gonna see just how fast it takes to cool the room down to a better temperature. It's also gonna give us the relative humidity and the CO2 level down there, so we'll be paying attention to that. And we also have this monitor going over here on the side where it shows us the temperature, the CO2 level, and right now the air is pretty clean, so it's staying at 0, and then 54% relative humidity. All right, so now we're just gonna turn the fan on, and we're gonna probably run this for about 10 minutes or until we see a very significant temperature change. And then we're gonna do the same exact test with our Lasko fan. All right, and so just about 15 minutes, we were able to lower the temperature about 1.5 degrees. So the relative humidity did not change, and then down here, the CO2 levels seem to stay the exact same, but the temperature of the room definitely got cooled down pretty fast. Now let's go ahead and check the temperature down here. It looks like it went down maybe 1 degree. The relative humidity is right about the same as well. All right, so we got the Lasko fan out, and we got the room to the same exact temperature, 79.3 degrees, and then the relative humidity is 50%. And let's go ahead and pay attention to the CO2 number down there, still at 449. Here's our backup monitor. It says we're at about 78 degrees, and then the relative humidity is about 55%. So let's go ahead and start the test. We're gonna do the same exact time, 15 minutes on the max setting here. So the Lasko fan lowered the overall temperature by about 1 degree. And for our backup monitor, all the information's basically about the same. So overall, the Lasko fan made the room drop about 1 degree in about 15 minutes, but the Drio was able to do 1.5 degrees in the same amount of time. So it may be smaller, but because of the motor being a little bit more powerful than the Lasko fan, it seems to do a better job at actually cooling down your room. Anyways, these are both pretty nice fans, but I'm definitely really impressed by this Drio fan. These are both great fans, but I personally really like how modern this Drio fan is. It has its own app to actually function, which means you could pair it up to your smart device. You have RGBs, and it just looks really cool and new. So anyways, that's it for this comparison.